Hey everybody, time for another game theory video. If you like the videos, like, sub, silly comment, share, support the channel if you want, if you can. I appreciate it. Thanks. Super chat, PayPal, Patreon. It really does help the channel. Just leaving a like doesn't cost you anything. Hit the sub button, helps the algorithm. You're not gonna do it? Okay. This is the picture you get then while we make this video. It's your fault. Brad Clayton will be dictating this video, I guess. So I want to talk about, since I just recently did that video about counter hits and I had Street Fighter 4 in again, and I want to talk about balancing the SHIN SHORYUKEN, right? Because, you know, there's that one video, what's his name? I think it's like the Bayfield dude. I don't know. I'm not talking crap about the dude. I have no idea how you would say his name, but he made a video talking about how badly balanced the METSU Shoryuken is. But I want to say that I've said before, and I want to show some things that you might not know about Street Fighter 4, is I just think that it doesn't do enough damage, right? So I want to show you something that you might not know about Street Fighter 4. So if we were to, where am I right here? Let's look at Goken's Super Dragon Punch, right? Hits regular, does 503, right? Well, if it hits on a counter hit, 538. That makes sense. We would assume that a move would do more damage when it's a counter hit, correct? Well, let's look at Ryu right here, right? So if you don't know this, if we're looking at this thing right here, counter hits in Street Fighter 4 are basically only if the dude is starting a attack, okay? I want you to keep this in mind. Starting a attack for a counter hit, okay? So say get knocked out of a move, it's a counter hit, right? But did you know in Street Fighter 4, and this is a brain fart of the game that I have no idea why they did this. Why was there no counter hit? Once you are actually in the attack of Street Fighter 4, although we both did the same attack, although we both counter hit each other, there's no counter hit. In Street Fighter 4, for whatever reason, the counter hit state tends to be only if a move is starting. Not if moves hit each other at the same time or the move is already out, right? So this already is kind of a conundrum of, say, Dragon Punches, if you ever notice. When you counter hit somebody, or I say counter hit, it doesn't count as a counter hit in the game, right? When you Dragon Punch somebody, a limb or something like that, it doesn't count as a counter hit, right? So we have Ryu doing a Dragon Punch super, but did you see there was no counter hit even though he attacked a limb? Now, did you know this about Street Fighter 4 as well? Something that I've never seen anyone talk about before, but I posted it on the forums and I'm like, why did they not change this? Ryu's super, although you see counter hit, it very well could be the only move in the game that when it's a counter hit, it doesn't do any more damage. A move that you would think is a counter to something doesn't do more damage on a counter hit. Now, we've already talked about how and shown how convoluted counter hits are in Street Fighter 4, but why would that be? Never fixed throughout the game's lifespan. Now, something in that video, unless I watched it wrong about why the METSU Dragon Punch is such a terrible designed move, it was said that the move never got like better priority or had no changes besides being able to combo into more. But that's not true, because actually, did you know in the original Super Street Fighter 4, the move actually was like not totally invincible. And the hurt box and hitbox on it were actually not that great. So did you know this? Again, I've never seen anyone else post this before me, but I talked about it back in the day. Guess what? Ryu could get knocked out of it. Some moves just completely cleanly could beat him. Now, I guess that could let you get a combo off it, I guess, if that's what you were going for. But yes. So thankfully they changed this in the revisions of the game, that the move has like a bigger hitbox and more invincible. But it is actually quite generous. This in after Super Street Fighter 4 actually hits. Does that look a little bit, that's a bit generous. That actually hits in Street Fighter 4 after the first version of the game, right? Whereas Goken, if you were to try to do his SHIN SHORYUKEN, guess what? Even that close doesn't hit. The move that's supposed to be an anti-air super doesn't work that great, okay? But ryus actually does. Now, I want to compare this to a game like CVS2. Not that I, think CVS2 is a great game, but CVS2, let's watch this. Okay, that makes sense. And it actually hit a counter hit. I'm dragon punching a limb and it hits as a counter hit, so it does more damage. That seems reasonable to me. Does that seem reasonable to you that if I dragon punch a limb, it should do more damage? Counter hit. That seems good, right? However, there is a conundrum of CVS2 that the move's hitbox was drastically shortened in CVS2. That doesn't hit the first hit. This doesn't, I want you to look at it. That does not count in CVS2 as actually hitting the first part of the Super Dragon Punch. The true Dragon Punch, right? Let's go to this. Boom. You'll get a first hit of Dragon Punch there, but geez, dude. I mean, the move's hitbox is not very generous in the game. I think the move should do more damage, especially when you think that you can't juggle after it or anything like that, or juggle into it either. So thinking if we're to compare a game like Street Fighter 4 to CVS2 is the SHIN or METSU Shoryuken, right? It actually works from ranges that you might be using a, say, stand roundhouse even to check the opponent, right? Whereas, again, if we try to do this move, guess what? It doesn't work now in CVS2. But in Street Fighter 4, that actually hits. That actually hits. This actually hits as well in Street Fighter 4, right? Also, the move, as we saw earlier, that, it can actually miss even when you're up close. That just doesn't happen in Street Fighter 4. The moves hurtbox and hitbox, again, what do we see right here? That didn't even get to the, yet a Street Fighter 4 actually does it pretty well. And if you're to think about empty jumping, of course, empty jump would make you a little bit safer, but still the hurtbox on it is pretty generous, right? Again, look at this. Boom. That feels pretty good. Now, I know some people, in that video really focused on, well, the move sucks because you can't combo into it, right? Move sucks because you can't combo into it. And he has like very rare FGC combos, like something along this, you know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. But I want to go back to the Goken example of where I show that Goken's actually misses. Now, maybe if you don't understand what I'm trying to say is, I'll explain it. I think the move is actually functions pretty well in Street Fighter 4. The hurt box on it is generous. It hits from very far away. They fixed the problem of that it wasn't actually invincible for the correct amount of time when the game first came out. I don't think, when I watch videos like that and when I see other people on the internet complain, well, you can't combo after it. You can't combo into it good. And my argument would be, why do I need to combo into a Dragon Punch Super? Why can't my Dragon Punch Super be an anti-air super? Not every move should be that versatile. Now I know, you're talking about the balance of the aim. Well, it's almost kind of weird because that guy does a lot of balance sort of videos. He's like, maybe it's almost like you want this move to be this versatile. I would actually say if a move is so versatile that it's your best anti-air super and it's your best combo thing, well, then why would you ever not pick it? I would say that's actually bad balance. If you can combo into it from all this stuff, if you could combo out of it like Street Fighter 3, whatever it might be, I would say that's actually bad balance. I want my Dragon Punch Super to be a Dragon Punch Super, to be a move that hits you if you're jumping, right? I think the actual problem of the move is that it just doesn't do enough damage. And the counter hit system of Street Fighter 4 is fucked up as well. Like, I would make it, if I was making the Super Dragon Punch, right? SHIN SHORYUKEN. I wish I could roll my R. Sometimes when you're in Japan, sometimes I'm talking to these guys and they try to do that, the old Street Fighter 2 voice. They can really, they can roll their R sometimes when they say Shoryuken. And it sounds really cool. I wish I could say it like they do. But, I just think the move should do more damage. If I was balancing the move, I would just have it be like the most powerful super in the game. I don't care about being able to combo into it and combo out of it, all that kind of stuff. That stuff doesn't really matter to me. I want my Dragon Punch Super to be a goddamn fucking Dragon Punch Super. And at least, unlike, say, Goken, you know what I mean? And I know Goken has back throw to it and all this other kind of stuff you can combo into it. But guess what? It's still supposed to be a Dragon Punch Super, and Goken's Dragon Punch Super doesn't actually function as well as Ryu's does as a Dragon Punch. But again, there's the counter hit problem in the game, and the move just needs to do a little bit more damage, I think. But I think the hurt box and hitbox on it are, you know, and the hitbox on it, I should say, is pretty well done. It's not terrible, I don't think, in Super Street Fighter 4. And yeah, I don't know, just comparing it to CVS2 again. If I was making a game, fighting game, you know what I mean? I would want my Shin Shoryuken to be the most powerful super in the game. And just an anti-air. Well, you know, if he hit a limb on the ground, whatever, you know. But anyway, if you like the videos, like, sub, silly comment, share, support the channel if you can. Appreciate it. Thanks. The end.